Hello and welcome to AWS Made Easy Ask Us Anything, episode number 33, the final episode of 2022. Your host, Stephen Bard, host, Rahul Subramaniam. Rahul, how are you doing?
Doing very, very well. I can't believe it's coming up to the end of the year. It's been quite an awesome year. So, sad to see the year end, but I think in hindsight, it's been one incredible ride. So, couldn't be more excited to do this last show. How about you?
Absolutely. We were reviewing some of the numbers and the statistics earlier from the show. Very, very proud of what we've done and looking forward to the next week or so to recharge, reboot, and then coming up next year with some fresh ideas, some fresh ways of producing the show. I think we will really enjoy, and then just recharging the batteries a bit. That'll be nice.
Correct.
Still catching up from reInvent and from all the announcements that have come out since then.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. So, without further ado, shall we jump right into some of the most recent announcements?
Absolutely. We wanted to take a cost-focused perspective today. So why don't we talk about cost anomaly detection? So I think in the world of cost, you definitely want to know when there's an anomaly. And so let's start about cost anomaly detection. Here goes. All right, let's put this up on the screen. Oh, not that one.
Great.
We want, sorry about that. We want this one on the screen.
Perfect.
Here we go.
So it's the end of the year. What is everyone got on the top of their mind? Of course, it's going to be costs, budgets, all of that stuff. So cost anomaly detection, especially when everyone's going out on holiday around the end of the year, becomes incredibly important. You want to know when your costs are different from what the norm is, and you want to get alerted for it instead of having to man that report 24/7. And so, if you've not looked at cost anomaly detection, please do. It uses machine learning and rule-based approaches as well.
No, I think we've all
when to alert.
I think we've all had the experience of an anomalous spend, a spend shock, whether it's leaving some instances running over the weekend or not realizing how much QuickSight or Kendra costs, things like that.
Correct.
And so this announcement, this cost anomaly detection, that's for percentage-based thresholds. The idea is, well, a $500 overrun would be noticed a lot by an individual developer, but might not even come up on the radar of some of these larger companies. And so why would you want a fixed number when you can do a percentage number?
Exactly. And I think the percentage number becomes having control both in terms of absolute numbers as well as percentages definitely helps. And historically, it's always been in absolute numbers. But now that you have percentages, you can set your alerts appropriately and filter out all of these anomaly alerts. That way, you can sleep in peace and enjoy the holidays.
All right. Well, that definitely. Okay. We don't think we have to discuss this. We're going to give this a simplifies.
Definitely a simplifies. I would give this a 4. I would have loved to see the UI and the configuration settings for this, given that it's not there. Yeah.
Although if this saves you an evening with the family rather than an evening in the AWS console, I think that you bump that up to a 5. But I agree. I'd love to see that a screenshot or some example. That would be really neat. All right. Shall we move on to the next cost one? We wanted to talk about account name. Here it comes. Okay, this is a related announcement. I'll put this in the comments.
Yep. So this is a related announcement, and this is interesting for anyone who actually has many, many accounts to manage. Historically, you've always only had account numbers. And of course, those 12 to 15 digit numbers make absolutely no sense when someone comes and screams at you saying, hey, your costs have gone out of control. What are you doing? And then they give you a 12-digit number to look at. And you're like, I don't even know what this is. And then you have to search through your entire, SSO system or whatever mechanism you're using to figure out what account somebody's talking about, and it takes you a while to get literally to the account to figure out what's going on. There are two ways to kind of deal with it. One is every account has an account name associated with it and an email address, which you kind of generally give it a relevant email address with, associated with the account. So that becomes incredibly valuable in making this human readable. And so the fact that you have the account name now available as part of the alert notifications goes a long way in actually getting to action on that alert right away. Because right now in the alert just says, hey, account number 1024, whatever the number is, that's got an anomaly. You just don't know what to do with it and it takes you half an hour to get to it.
And this continues that theme of saving simple steps that you almost always have to do. Right?
Exactly.
Very similar to some of the zero ETL integrations we've seen, where it's okay, this data is always moving in this way, so let's just skip this joining step that everyone has to do and give the account name right away.
Exactly.
So I like that a lot. That's I think this is another simplifies.
And the fact that you actually get these notifications in anything from email to Slack to SNS topics, like you just want to get to the action right away. So yeah, absolutely, it simplifies. And I think this one just is a 5. It's easy. You don't have to do anything else. Now the alert automatically shows the account name, and you don't have to do anything. Like the best part is you don't have to do anything new.
And I really like how they mentioned that you can have SNS topics posting to Slack. I use that quite a bit. It's a lot easier than embedding a Slack key into secrets and then having some Slack API code in all of your different Lambda functions. It's much easier to just have an SNS topic that pushes to Slack. Exactly. And I'm glad that they recognize that as a very common use case, even though, people are using Chime too, but Slack, I think I'm glad they took the pragmatic approach and brought up Slack there. I use an internal Slack bot just for our own automation, and it dumps the logs and the command to jump into the CloudWatch logs to make it really easy.
I completely agree. Okay, so that was announcement number 2. Again, all in the spirit of cost savings and optimization. Let's move on to the third one.
Okay, marketplace. I'll give you 1 second here. I realized I had the URL in the other tab. Here it comes, and then we are back up. There we go. Marketplace.
As you know, we're completely live. So
some of our optimizations coming next year. We have I'm getting one of these little pieces of gear called an ATEM Pro that should be picking that up today, actually. And that
shout out to John Meyer, who actually had an amazing podcast showcase of his setup. And I think he had an ATEM Pro as well, right?
Exactly. And so what you can do is you can actually have a separate stream. And so what I'll do is I'll have the Raspberry Pi that has the articles, and it'll have an HDMI out into the mixer channel, and then my other computer, which is the streaming computer, that will be able to just broadcast. It'll look like a webcam from the perspective of the streaming computer, but it's actually a mix of HDMI signals in hardware.
Awesome. Okay, so back to this announcement. AWS Marketplace introduces free trials for SaaS usage-based products. So a lot of products that are in the marketplace right now, you basically have to pay the fee, which is usually by the hour or by whatever time period. They have multiple schemes of pricing that are now available. But one of the big drawbacks always was that you couldn't offer a free trial for X number of days or whatever. And now you can. You can actually offer free trials, and there are mechanisms where if you are an enterprise and you want to do specific deals, custom deals, you can do all of that stuff now. So I think AWS Marketplace has come a long way. It is probably one of the easiest ways to take your SaaS product and offer it to the community. It makes it really easy for someone to go click a button and get started with your product without the friction of trying to figure out how to download it, how to install it, how to configure it and run it. You can manage all of that within the marketplace and make it really seamless for customers to start getting to use your product.
And this way, you don't have to maintain some separate channel for free trials. So free trials is like a very
Exactly.
standard thing, but without without this new announcement, you'd have to do that some other way. And then when you installed it, you want to do it through the marketplace, just making the whole experience consistent. Just being able to really easily transition from that free model to a paid subscription.
Exactly.
I think this is a win for everyone.
Yep. Just reducing friction overall. So this is really neat. I would give this a 4.5.
All right, I'll put the 4.5. Here we go, 4.5 clouds.
Awesome, and definitely simplifies. We give it a simplify rating as well. Great.
Cool.
So that was AWS Santa kind of bringing in 3 cost savings announcements before the end of the year. So please do take the time to take a look at these and hope you benefit from these.
And this will be one of our major themes in 2023 is being cognizant of cost, being cognizant of spend, and being able to have tools that can automate that and alert that using the machine learning layers, which are finding their way into everything. And anomaly detection is a great example of how Amazon is embedding machine learning into a lot of their other products in order to give these higher level insights.
Correct. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So with that, I wanted to actually just say what an incredible year this has been. We wanted to keep this last episode a little short, but dedicated to thanking everyone, our families, our coworkers who make all of this stuff happen. We have some incredible colleagues that we've had the pleasure of working with. And of course, our audience who have kept us going over the last 33 episodes. It's been, absolutely amazing. I never thought we'd get to, like getting to 10 was a big landmark when we first started it.
That was with Badri. We had Badri on for episode 1 and for episode 10.
On the 10th one. And we've had some amazing guests on the show who've been very, gracious with their time and, their entire, insights that they brought to this. We've reviewed AWS, of course, for putting out so much content that this show kind of feels necessary. I think, like you see down here in the comment, that 184 articles we did. I can't even believe we actually reviewed 184, and that is out of maybe 1,000 of them, because we barely get to like 6 or 7 out of 60 or 70 every week. So that's a pretty huge deal. And of course, Stephen and I got at least a few opportunities to meet up during the last year.
Various AWS events. Oh, actually,
exactly.
It's been really, now that when you look back at it all, there's been a lot of things, and I realized we actually filmed in Geneva as well with Frank Pacho in beautiful Lausanne, Switzerland. So we've been in 3 continents with
correct
9 guests. Moved the studio, as you can see. This is all part of the winter reboot. And I see that my fire has gone out. Unfortunately, my firewood was a bit wetter than I wanted it to be. I got delivered a little bit wet, so I need to deal with that. It's been an incredible year. Thank you for guests for sticking with us. We're looking forward to producing some even more exciting and engaging content in the new year. And we like your feedback. Please tell us what's working, what's not, and we're here for you. So whatever we can do for you to make AWS easier to understand, to sort through the massive articles, that's what we're here for. And please keep your questions coming, and we're happy to be a resource for you.
And with that, we wish you all a wonderful holiday and a very happy new year. We will see you in the second week of January. I think we're back on January 10th. Is that correct, Stephen?
January 10th.
Yes, so we'll be back on January 10th.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thanks to everyone else who've been supporting us, through this last year. And please share your feedback with us. We would love to make this a show that you love to listen to. So thank you once again, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, Rahul. All right. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye,
You too,
everyone.
Stephen. Bye-bye.
Is your AWS public cloud bill growing? While most solutions focus on visibility, CloudFix saves you 10 to 20% on your AWS bill by finding and implementing AWS recommended fixes that are 100% safe. There's zero downtime and zero degradation in performance. We've helped organizations save millions of dollars across tens of thousands of AWS instances. Interested in seeing how much money you can save? Visit cloudfix.com to schedule a free assessment and see your yearly savings.